So I'm gonna unpack this week's large share, and we're gonna start with, first we've got some really nice chives. Chives, the best way that I like to store them is to just put them in a glass full of water, and then store them in the fridge. So they tend to keep really well this way. They'll stay fresh for several days, which is always great. So I'm gonna set them up like this. I'm gonna put these right in my fridge, and they'll probably keep for about a week this way, which is great. Next, we have some leeks. Lots of leeks, which I'm excited about. So leeks, I'm just gonna store in my refrigerator, and they're gonna keep for probably about a week in there. What I might do, actually, they tend to store really well just in a plastic bag. So I'm just going to put them in a plastic bag, wrap them up, store them, and use them later this week. Okay, next we have peppers. And the peppers, I'm just gonna throw right in my hydrator drawer. And I'm gonna try to use these fairly quickly. They'll keep for several days, but they'll start to get kind of mushy and not great if you leave them for too long. So yeah, that's where those will go, in the hydrator drawer. Let's see, tomatoes. I normally like to leave tomatoes out on my counter because I think that they have the best flavor. But, you know, I also usually eat my tomatoes in a couple of days. So if it's gonna be longer than a couple of days, I will store these in the fridge. These will probably get eaten today or tomorrow, so it's good to store them out so they're at room temp, but otherwise I'll store them in the fridge if it's gonna be longer before we get to eating them. Okay, bok choy, which I'm very excited about this week. Okay, so the bok choy I'm just gonna store in my hydrator drawer, and should be good within the next few days. I'll probably eat this tomorrow or the next day. If I was gonna need to store it for longer, I might separate the leaves from the stems, because the leaves will tend to wilt a little faster and the stems will stay good for longer. But since I'm gonna use it in the next couple of days, they should be fine just as they are in the hydrator drawer. All right, what else do we have? Daikon radish. These are super good storage vegetables. So I'm just gonna put these right in the fridge, probably in the hydrator drawer, and they should be good for, you know, several weeks. So these will store really nice for me in the fridge. All right, carrots. Once again, I'm just gonna leave these in the bag they came in and throw them right in the fridge, and they don't have the tops attached. If they did, I'd probably remove those because those tend to go bad faster, but as they are gonna store also really well in the fridge, so probably will be good for a couple of weeks at least. And the last but not least, we have some winter squash. These I always keep out of the refrigerator. I just store them on the counter, which is nice because they look pretty, but also they just keep really nicely just out on the counter, which is good. So these will store pretty well, probably for at least a week or two just out on the counter. So I'll try to use them before then, but in the meantime, they'll just sit out and look pretty.